Just release me. Mm-hmm. Just release me. Boom, 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 boom. Just release me. Just release me. Yeah, Andre Wade was just released once again. Just come to reminisce about some things. I felt as if my leg's doing all right. You know, they took the stitches out of it uh, Tuesday. What up? What up? Okay, okay. What's happening? What's happening? I see y'all up. Thanks for the thumbs up. And but what I was, what I wanted to do was, I felt as if I wanted to speak on some more of the gangs in prison, because the gangs is the makeup of over 85% of the system, to the point where some places that you may go, you might have to join the gang. Uh, I uh, I really out of control, but mm, yeah, might have to. But I want to speak on some more. But first, I just want to pray peace upon y'all families. I want to pray peace upon those who are incarcerated, men, women, and teenagers. Uh, uh, the comments is coming at me, and they coming at me in such a way that you make your mind start spinning, then you forget about what you was talking about. But uh, yeah, but the games in which are in prison. Now, I ain't never been in the gang. I ain't never been in the gang, but I've been affiliated with gang members. Yeah, yep. I uh I was for most of my partners they was something. You know, I had some partners that were neutron, but we dealt with dudes that was gang affiliated. You know, I dealt with I hear you, I hear you. Yeah, we gonna see, time to tell if you telling the truth. But we dealt with a lot of guys that was Mandingo warriors, Crips or Bloods, folk more so in the nature of any other gangs that was in prison. Uh, my association with the Hispanic gangs was the fact that I was a SSI and I was able to move, you know, from tank to tank. So I was a liability to a lot of gang members and neutron individuals, because I kept myself in position, and most of the prisoners, when something been needed and they know they couldn't do it, but Dre could, then that they would put me on to that, you know, and because you know I was able to move, and I moved with a lot of stuff throughout the years, and but I dealt with a lot of gang members, and these gang members was was individual men that accepted neutrons within their fold. I'm talking about to the fullest. And I had a partner. His name was Buckwheat. Buckwheat I had been known for many years, and he was a Mandingo warrior from the first time I ever met him, and meeting Buckwheat had introduced me to a lot of guys that I really didn't know, I'm talking about cats that had time, cats that been locked up a long time, and they was doing time, and when I got into that fold, uh, it's things that just went well for me in so many ways by dealing with gang members, but I also I seen some low down dirty moves by some of the gang members of certain gangs, and I never forget how this one guy, this one guy, well, he felt as if this other person that was dealing with the man that was getting the work from the law, he felt like he wanted that right hand man being next to him, but when his right hand man got, so he don't have nobody silent that he really want to put right there. And so when he made his decision who he was going to put in that position, the other guy of the same gang went and set him up, set him up to be busted. So the guy got busted, and he still didn't get that position from the guy. And gang members, man, they get in their feelings when it come to their comrades, not being there for them. That's how they feel. And a lot of I was like I said, it was a lot of Mandingo warriors in the system before I even much got there. And the Mandingo warriors was the type of gang of men that opposed the officers, the guards, from uh, hurting other inmates. But and in some places they were so respected because and it was so many of them, right? So they played with knives because we talking about a time when the Mandingo warriors first come out in the 70s, how the Mexicans was packing knives and you was having rides. You didn't have no all them games. You would have rides and the Mexican had them knives, right? I see JR. Look at that. And what the Mandingo warriors came out, and because the laws, the bill of tenders, and all this was whipping them inmates. So when the Mandingo warriors came out, and they came out not so much as a fighting gang or men, they was strictly uh, hardcore. Hardcore. They believed in the knife. They believed in hurting you. And I think the first time it was against the law when they first did they hit of any kind of Mandingo in the 70s, but they put that knife in you. They put that knife in the law. They put it in an inmate. Anybody that totally disrespected them or was hogging, they felt like they seen you really hogging somebody, they'll step in. The Mandingo Warriors are gonna step in. They're gonna come as a group. And you were talking about a time where that was the only black gang at that time put together in Texas prison. And so then now the blacks is joining these Mandingo warriors, and not so much as being a coward, but getting into a part of the power that they was establishing, that they was building up. They was building up respect and from the inmates. They was building up respect from the guards, and they went their way and didn't go out their way to get in no trouble with nobody. But they gonna represent. They gonna be there. The man they gonna want. They gonna stand in the cut and see what's going on. And if I am one of them white boys or I am one of them Hispanic dudes do something to a black that they ain't had no business doing, that's their key. That's their key to step in and be ruthless against them. You know, they can be ruthless. See, when you have them white boys and them Hispanic dudes coming to them blacks, they come compromising. They come compromising. They don't come with that violence in their heart. That whatever's in there, they don't get God coming up in there with that kind of attitude. But a lot of games respected the Mandingo warriors, but through a course of time, I believe that like on some units, Mandingo warriors faded away. It's as if they had got them all away from one another because they were strong men that as long as they was together. But separated, they still had to be a certain manner of man because they was representing Mandingo. And so through a course of time and years, the Mandingo established themselves throughout the system as some fierce dudes, man. Them dudes bad, man. Don't mess with them Mandingo warriors, man. And that used to be the word, right? So now the Mandingo warriors made it in this system where it was dominated by Hispanic gang and white boys. And the blacks were separated, but now the blacks has an opportunity to go and join. He can go and join, but as through, like I say, through the course of time. All right, all right, hey there, all right, man. Boy, I was I knew that change was finna take place, right? Of the Mandingos because, like I said, they was separating them. And when I was on East Sam, and the Mandingo Warriors, they really went wild when they was trying to strip men going to wreck the officers. So the Mandingos felt like you don't only have to, all you had to do is come to your boxes, but they wanted to go butt naked, right? And the Mandingo Warriors wasn't going for it, so they had a little war for a while. Mandingo Warriors against the officers. They had a lieutenant dude, captain dude, or Martinez, Nim and Martinez, and what's the other boy name? Uh, yeah, but it was quite a few laws and rank that was after the Mandingo Warriors. And when they created their war, you know what I'm saying, it was on, it was only for a short time, though. It was because they, what the administration did, they locked all of them up. They came and got them when they didn't know that they was finna do this. And sometime when we be on them units and we be inside these gangs, we feel that we can't be touched. Yes, you can be touched. It don't matter what gang you in. But through the course of time, change had taken place again, where you start seeing uh, young gang members come, Crips and Blood. They didn't come in as a mother load. It's just that through the course of time, they was building up and they was coming. And I was on East Sam and I remember it had, the first Crip I had met, and then this other dude, he was a Crip and I didn't even know it. And if I just gonna go on, I knew little Window, he was a Blood, and he had been on East Ham a long time, being the only Blood on that unit. But it wasn't no war talk words ever spoken among them and the Crips and the Bloods. But because the Crips start folding up, they start coming in. They start folding in, right? Here they come, man. Before you know it, man, it was a lot of Crips running around, but they wasn't what they became. They wasn't doing a lot of violent things. They was chilling and stuff. Maybe they was just getting themselves felt in, but when they kind of got their silent self down pat on some units, man, them boys, especially them Crips. See, the Crips was more like a Ramro what's the name? Like a warrior type. They was more aggressive. The Crips was. They was quick to temper to go and fight. You know, it don't even matter if they don't know it, the man is wrong or right. Let's fight. But the Bloods, they was more relaxed, laid back. And I believe that some of the fights I seen of Crips and Bloods in prison was the fact that the Crips would be jealous of the Bloods because the Bloods was more finesse dudes. They did a lot of things where the Crips was laid back in them corners and take stuff from dudes. They didn't have no finesse. They just Rambo and take it. That's the kind of mindset they had. You know what I'm saying? That was the only way they only knew how to do it. The Bloods had the little skills of finesse in them. Hmm. All right, appreciate that. Appreciate that. And what they did is they outshined the Crips in the matter of having money. So when them Crips got to the point and they seen the flamboyant things that the Bloods was throwing out, then the Crips went at them and took their stuff. Yeah, and took their stuff. And this was on some. I'm not talking about in the system. I'm talking about just certain units I've been on, and I've been on units where it dominant Crips. I've been on the units where it was dominant Bloods out of those two gangs, and you didn't see a lot of gang fights of them two, but they did get out there and check paper. They will get out there and check paper on one another. You know what I'm saying? It was tripping. I was on where I was. I think I was on uh, Robinson. Yeah, I was on Robinson Unit, and I seen a Crip in the Blood. The Crip called the little old Blood out, and the Blood went out there. Blood was he was taking them things, but the old Icy Mike, the Crip, he was just too much for him, man. He was too much for him. He had them hands for real. So, uh, some things, I stayed overnight transferring, going through Beto. When you go into Telford, you go through it. It's an overstay at Beto, and that was the only times I ever went through Beto. Is going traveling through it, and I never been on Cofield. I was on East Ham. I was on the Wind Unit. I was on Ellis One. I was on Telford. I was on McConnell. I was on Bill Clemens. I was on uh, Hughes Unit. I was on Styles. And I look at these units I've been through, and some of them I stayed some years. Some of them I didn't. A couple of years maybe, or a few months. I would have myself transferred to somewhere else, cause if they sent me up north, I'm not finna stay up there. I'm gonna try to get back down south, cause I'm from Houston, so I want to stay around south. So the prison in the state of Texas has it where, you can have hardships, or you can feel your life, place your life in danger, all these old type of ways, and you can get transferred. and you might get transferred to where you trying to go, at least some kind in that nature. But uh, it's the gangs of today. A lot of them is trying to better themselves. A lot of them go to school and trying to stay out of trouble on a daily basis, because when they came to prison, they didn't. A lot of them didn't know anything. When they came to prison, they didn't have no tolerance. They didn't have no patience at all. So now that they're in prison and they going through all these things and maturing in the same matter, something have to change. The gangs inside of prison is boo boo. It's boo boo. They trying to get out of prison, people. They not trying to stay. You don't have the same ones doing them stabbings no more. You don't have the same ones doing them rape things no more. You don't have the same dudes extorting people anymore. There's a new group of people that's coming inside of prison and they coming with a mindset that you ain't ready for. You ain't ready for. And so many that even though the inmates was already there, really didn't understand these characters. Because that's all it was, a bunch of characters. But when they get in a bunch of any kind, blood, crip, they gonna trip. They gonna trip in some form. Yeah. I already know it. When you tell somebody about chest release, tell them hit that like button. Tell them hit that like button. Now, I came with this gang inside a prison because I felt I didn't speak on it enough the other night. So, and partake of the first one, I'm ending with this one, and I pray that in some form you get an identity of what's taking place inside of prison when it come to gangs. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that, Dante. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like but push up button, man, looking good, man. I appreciate y'all because um, I need y'all. I need y'all. You know, it's some things that take place in people's life that brings on a change. I uh, I ran into some of them gang members that I was doing time with outside here in society, and the most that I seen at the time they wasn't gang banging, and I seen those who came out still gang banging. That that let me tell you something. Your mindset when you doing time should be of what you gonna do good when you get out. What you gonna do good when you get out? See, not what you need to go do when you get out. There's some things that take place in people's lives at an early age. At an early age, something took me. Something took me so fast. that it took my leg. It took my leg. Something happened to me so fast that the outcome of it was they took my leg. So now my focus and my adjustment way of thinking is finna play games with me. I got one leg. So now I gotta go out among the prey and pray that nothing happens to me in any way. So I'm stay home. I'm stay home, y'all, because guess what? Ain't nothing gonna happen to me if I'm at home. The trouble gotta come to me, and I ain't going to it. But hey, this is just release with Andre Wade. Hey, ain't no telling what I might come back with. But y'all know I'm gonna come back with something. Right now, I'm finna lay down. Dum to do dum. Lay down. Dum to do dum. Dum. Some of y'all already laid down. Some of y'all already laid down and being all comfortable and everything. Yeah, I already know it. I already know it. Listening, watching the YouTube channel. Dum dum doo dum to do dum. Dum to do dum. Dum to do dum. Just release me. Just release me.